All right, guys, so this week we're going to be talking bunions. So if you have a bunion, you probably obviously know the presentation. There's going to be a big bony formation in the first knuckle here, and with that big toe, it's classically angled to the outside like this. There is a lot of reasoning behind bunions. Some people will say it's genetic. Other people will say it could be because of flat feet, ligament laxity, many different causes. But we're going to just show you some things that we do in office if we're able to help you. So the first thing that we need to determine is if we are actually able to help you. And we're going to check for something called a structural block. Now with the bunion, again, that first big toe and all the other toes will be angled to the outside. We're going to see first if you can actively spread those toes. Our goal is to always see if you can get your first phalangeal in line with your metatarsal bone, actively. Now, if you can't do this actively, that's still okay. We'll now take our hand and passively see if we can actually just move your joint to get into that proper alignment. If we can't, and you're here, and again, we try to pull out and it's just stuck, we call that a structural block, and we don't want to waste your time or your money. Surgical intervention typically is what you need at this point. Now, what we can do is, again, if we can actively see you spread and get in the line, or we can just move the joint there passively, that's a sign that the joint can move that direction, and our goal is to get there actively eventually. A couple of things we want to start working on. First is we need to start teaching the big toe to extend again. So we can get to a wall. We always want to actively spread the toes, and we can start working on extending in a somewhat limited weight-bearing position here. Now, once you get comfortable with this, you can now stagger this leg in the back to where there's a lot more pressure on that toe, even lifting that front foot. But we usually like to start it in front and just take baby steps with progressions there. The other really critical component is the arch of your foot. So if you think about it, the more that we collapse, you can see this puts me in that bunion presentation. A lot of pressure on the inside of that knuckle where that bone formation starts to develop, and the toes, again, they start to move out laterally. So a great way to work on the arch and work on spreading of the toes is loading the tripod of the foot. And the tripod, you want equal weight distribution between the heel, the first ray, and the fifth ray of the foot. So we go back to that position. Our first step is just to load the tripod, spread the toes, and then from here, it's a difficult concept to understand right away, but with this big knuckle, we're going to drive it down into the floor to lift the arch up. So to give you a side angle, here's my foot relaxed. If I'm able to drive this knuckle down to lift this arch up, it's going to give me a better alignment to not allow this to crash down, put more pressure on the inside of the knuckle, and those toes to move out to the side. Now, once you do this, you can hold this for time. You can start rocking the ankle like you're mimicking walking or running. And then a very advanced version of this is getting up onto one foot and really loading the tripod of the foot there. So those are some exercises we do to help our patients here. If you guys need any help with bunion development, give us a call. We'd be happy to help.